Okay, everybody, let me play you some music real quick. You know how I do. I gotta share my links with everybody. So I'm gonna just play you some music. I'll be right back. Excuse me for 1 second, everybody. 1 second. 1 second. Uh, Hopefully you guys can hear me. Trying to see. I'm gonna wait for people to pile in here. I get the links. Okay, everybody. Well, as you're coming in, how's your night going? Please leave your comments in the chat. You already know I get terrible audio issues and stuff like that. But I'm here now. I am here now. Hold on. I gotta share these links. So if you guys can also help by sharing links too. Hold on. Okay, since you're coming in, I might as well play the music again. Hopefully you guys can hear. Okay. All right. All right. Hopefully, I'm just one more thing, people. One more thing, and I have the logo up because I'm like moving around a lot. Let me see. So let me see. Hold on. So bam, bam, bam. Okay, time to turn this on. It should be on. You guys should be able to see me clearly. Hopefully you can see me clearly. If you guys can see me clearly, let me know. Should be able to. Shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem though. Now, in this video, and to tonight's, hold on. This light on. Right here. A little bit more light. Okay. In this video tonight, we're going to be talking about. I'm gonna put him on the screen. Now, people are calling this the George Floyd trial, and I think that's a bad way. Okay, I'm good. Thank you, bro. Thank you. This is not a George Floyd. George Floyd is not on trial. So when people say this is the George Floyd trial, it's not the George Floyd trial. This is the Derek Chauvin trial. This is or Chauvin. Some people pronounce it weird sometimes, so I can't really. I think it's pronounced Derek Chauvin. Sure. I think so. That's what I hear most people saying. But that's his trial because he's the one who's on trial for the murder of George Floyd. And I'm gonna give you guys a quick update. The defense, Derek Chauvin's defense, is terrible, utterly terrible. There's more video evidence proving that Derek murdered George Floyd. Every single medical doctor, every single um, paramedic, everybody is testifying against him. His defense looks utterly terrible. It's like the worst defense of all time. I've never seen a defense that was that bad before this trial. What I predict, and you guys can leave your predictions below. You can leave your predictions below. Hold on. One thing. What I predict is going to happen is I predict he's going to be found guilty. I think it's almost impossible for him to be just completely let go, found innocent. I think that that's probably not going to happen. He's going to be found guilty, and they're going to have to give him something. Not because they don't want, not because they want to, not because they truly feel in their hearts that he's bad, not because they truly feel he's guilty or yada yada. It's because what he did was so off code. Now, I made a video about this before when it came to the police being on code. What the police like to do is when they do something to somebody, they like to be able to have a little wiggle room where they can deny it. Now, what Derek Chauvin did out in the public, on camera, not caring about anything, he kind of blew the spot up for the police, so to speak. He kind of messed the game up for everybody in the police station. I mean, after he did what he did, now everybody, like in the whole world, is talking about what can we do to solve this police problem. The police problem is so bad. So he has to be punished in some way to cover them in some way. He has to be punished in some way. Actually, let me add him onto the screen. I have George Floyd on the screen. Let me just add our murderer cop on the screen right now. I apologize for this. I should have got him on here sooner. Okay. Alright then. Ooh, no. Not that big. We're doing like this. Alright. So, now, what he did was so off. It was so off-putting. Okay, it was a video. It's not like there's any evidence to support him. It's not like you could say George Floyd was resisting. He was handcuffed, begging for his life, everything. So he has to be punished in some way. He has to be punished in some way. What I predict, and my brother Dylan, he's correct. He's gonna get a light sentence. Personally, if you want to ask me personally, what I think he should get capital punishment. That's what I think. I think his punishment should be um an example, should set an example for anti-black racism in the police department. I think it should be capital punishment. Or I also think that life in prison. I would be satisfied with life in prison. I think life in prison would be a just punishment. Either those two. Maybe because he seems like if you give him like 80 years or something, okay. 50 plus, okay, whatever, okay. Why I believe that he's not going to get that. Now, let's take a look at what now everybody's talking, oh, he's being charged for the murder of George Floyd. Now, he has second degree and third degree charges for the murder of George Floyd, when he should be getting first degree charges. First, now for those who don't know, first degree is when you murder somebody with the intent to murder something. If you do something, if you have an action, and you intend on murdering that person, and you murder that person. Second degree is kind of like you did something and you killed somebody on accident. Like for instance, um, I'm driving a car and I'm racing in my car and I ran a red light, I'm running stop signs, and bam, I hit somebody and that person dies. I didn't mean to hit that person, but I was doing something that was against the law. I was doing something reckless and that caused the death of somebody else. With Derek, I'm used to things being on this side to point on this side. What he did was he strangled someone, he choked someone out for almost 10 minutes as the person is begging to breathe with no defense. He wasn't fighting back, he wasn't resisting arrest. He passed out. Even after George Floyd passed out, he was still choking him. And he kept his knee on his neck until he was dead, until the paramedics came, actually. And he didn't even want to get up when the paramedics came. So he kept his knee on it. So that is murder with intent. You cannot tell me that you're going to choke someone for 10 minutes, choke someone for like, what, 3 or 4 minutes after they've gone unconscious, after they've passed out. You're going to continue to choke that person and you don't have full intentions on killing that person. You can't tell me that. That what he did should be first degree murder. And because it's not first degree murder, is the first sign to let you know that they're not going to charge him like how we feel he should be charged. Secondly, they put up barricades. They put up barricades around the trial, around the courtroom and everything. They're already boarding up stores. They're boarding up stores and businesses prior to the trial even starting. Which means, and they did this with the Breonna Taylor situation too. Right before the Breonna Taylor's verdict came out, they had the National Guard out there. They started boarding up businesses and stores and stuff right before they announced the verdict of the trial. And they're doing this before they even start the trial because they already know the verdict, just like with Breonna Taylor and the cops getting completely let go. He is probably not going to be completely let go. He's probably going to get something super light. Super light is probably not going to be anything much at all. So, what's going to happen? Most likely, and this let's go by steps. Most likely, what's going to happen is there are going to be protests. Okay, there is nothing wrong with protests. However, I want people to be aware of certain things, and I'm kind of making this video is because I'm pretty sure people are gonna make some of the mistakes last year. Last year, I've been out protesting. I was out protesting last year. Um, there were, I'm sorry, I feel like this. There were stuff. There was some stuff that I hated. I absolutely hated. And we're going to go over that. We're going to go over that because those were mistakes. And I need those mistakes not to happen again. I need those mistakes not to happen again. So hold on, let me take them off the screen. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me take them off the screen. And hold on. I'm going to show you this one video. And this is something I need black people to stop, to not be doing. Okay? Because what black people do is when they go out to protest, says, he's a crisis. He's a crisis. I've seen this. He is a crisis actor. What I don't know what video you're talking about. Okay. I don't know what video you're talking about. You said he's an actor. I didn't know that. Now, what's gonna happen is we gotta do boycotts. Now, yes, exactly, boycotts. It's about the money after the protest. Now, when it comes to protests, unfortunately, our people lose their minds, and our people use this as a way to get attention, a way to be seen. When you're protesting for injustice, That is not for you to get attention. That is not for you to go out dancing. That's not for you to go out twerking so everybody can point their cameras at you. That is not the purpose of that. It is not about you when you are protesting. Okay? At a protest, anything can happen. I've been to protests. It got crazy. Anything can happen at all, period. So, as you're protesting, you need your head to be on a swivel, okay? Because you're not just dealing with the police, you're also dealing with white supremacists who are pretending to protest with you. Police who are undercover. I'm going to show you this one video in case you guys don't remember. This was let me pull it up for you guys. Let me pull it up for you guys. Right here, this is the Umbrella Man who pretty much started all of the loot. Now, this guy right here, that guy is an undercover police officer. His ex-wife snitched on him. Okay. His ex-wife told on him. He is an undercover police officer, and look at what he does. Just watch this real quick. I'm gonna make it bigger. I just want you to see my face.
The search warrant. Minneapolis police say this is the man who we aren't naming because he hasn't officially been charged, who's responsible for stirring up what was seemingly peaceful protests in the wake of George Floyd's death. Dubbed the Umbrella Man, equipped with a sledgehammer, dressed in all black, video of him smashing out the windows at the AutoZone near the 3rd Precinct went viral just moments before the looting began, followed by the structure being set on fire. Police say this was the first fire that set off a string of fires and looting throughout the city, and according to the arrest warrant, the actions of this person created an atmosphere of hostility and tension, and his sole aim was to incite violence. Police say they received an anonymous tip connecting the Umbrella Man to the biker gang Hell's Angels, and investigators have also confirmed the Umbrella Man is a known associate of the Aryan Cowboys Brotherhood, a well-known prison gang based out of Minnesota and Kentucky. Police were able to compare images from the suspect's driver's license with several of his previous booking photos while comparing them to the Umbrella Man images seen online. As of now, no arrests have been made.
Police have also connected the Umbrella Man to an
We don't need
incident in Stillwater.
We don't need all of that. We don't need all of that. But yeah, okay. It says nothing. Clean up your own mess. Not clean up your own mess. Who are you referring to? What are you talking about? Okay. That was an undercover cop. Now, you will have a whole bunch of white people telling you protesting is okay, peaceful protesting is okay, but all the riots, all the looting, all that stuff, why are you destroying businesses? Why are you destroying businesses? Do you notice how silent they are with this guy? This guy, they don't ever bring up in all evidence whether he is a police officer or not, because what they want is they don't care, okay, about businesses. They don't care about businesses. They don't care about property damage. They don't care about none of that, okay? AutoZone has insurance. Target has insurance. All these big stores have insurance, okay? The small businesses, and I hate it for them, but they don't care about none of that. White people have a history of rioting and looting after sports events, whether their team wins or loses. They are known, it is very known that there's been several times when a big championship game is on and you have police outside in downtown because they know at whatever happens in the game, whether you win or lose, there's going to be people coming and they're going to be rioting and looting and stuff like that. White people have never said anything against rioting and looting, against that, until Black Lives Matter started doing it. Once Black Lives Matter started looting and burning down cities we don't know because they never tell you which cities were burnt down. They make it seem like Black Lives Matter was torching cities like they did with Tulsa, Oklahoma, dropping bombs or something like that. But they say black people are burning down cities. Black people. Now, you already know, if you watch my videos, my opinions on the organization of Black Lives Matter, and we're going to be talking about that in this video. But they'll say, Black Lives Matter, you're doing all of this. What happened to the peaceful protest? What happened to the peaceful protest? But when we did that, yeah, you can do it a better way, a better way. Okay, they ignored that. So they have an issue with the looting. They say they have an issue with the looting. But the umbrella man, who was a white, now here's the thing. They want to bring up looting, and then they want to make looting and rioting synonymous with black people. All evidence points to the looting and the rioting and stuff like that. That started after this undercover cop started that. The undercover cop started breaking stuff. He started the fires and whatever, and that led to a chain of events where a whole bunch of stuff was broken into. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you another video. Nope, not that one. Okay. Here we go again. Here we go, right here. Now, look at this. I want you to look at this real quick.
Y'all know what building this is right here. I ain't even gonna say what name it is. Hey, where do the bricks go to? This is set up. You gotta do better. Ain't no damn construction. You gotta do better. Ain't no damn construction around here. I see. Ain't no damn construction around here. You just gonna set a pile of bricks right there. Oh, okay. Listen, I did jury duty 3 months ago. Y'all don't keep no bricks right there. Do better.
Okay. Okay. So there are just mysterious bricks, a pile of bricks, okay, just laying there around the protesters. The police set these things up. They started the protest in Minneapolis. They're setting protest. So if you're out protesting and you see a whole bunch of staged things. When I protest in Chicago last year, when I went to the protest, there were people in trucks handing out wooden planks so they can break into buildings and stuff like that. I've seen those. It says Omaha. Okay, so apparently I didn't know where they were, but the planks were in Omaha, right? I'm gonna read your comments in just a second. The thing is that they'll set stuff up. They will set stuff up for protesters to go breaking and looting things. Now, the people who are so concerned about, oh, the businesses, oh, the rioting, the looting, you can't do it. It's not that way. You can't. That's the wrong way to do things. They don't ever say anything about videos like that, about videos where it seems like the police or the government set things up so there could be rioting and so there could be looting. They never say anything about that. So I want you to, when you guys go out and protest, keep your eye out for obvious traps, because what they'll do is bait. Those bricks were bait. Because you pick up a brick and then you throw it at something, whatever happens, then you get caught up. Okay? You don't know. Everybody who was out there, just like the Umbrella Man, everybody who was out there isn't out there because they're angry about injustice. They're not out there because they're angry, or they're not out there for your cause to help you. Okay, now let me read some of the comments before I go on to my next point. And he says, we gotta do boycotts. Let's clean out the riots in Philadelphia after the Eagles lost the Super Bowl. Exactly. That's one of the I forget exactly where I was thinking about that. I'm glad you brought that up. There was riots, cars being flipped over. I remember seeing the video. I just forget where it was. But there was cars being flipped over, people breaking into businesses, stuff being destroyed. The streets were torn up. Cops watching it happen. Giving the rioters high fives, laughing with them. You don't ever see these people talk about, you're destroying your own city, you're destroying your own neighborhood. All these people who would say that against Black Lives Matter, and the reason I'm doing the air quotes for Black Lives Matter is because when the dominant society says Black Lives Matter, they mean all black people. All black people are Black Lives Matter. It would sound racist to say black people, so they're gonna say Black Lives Matter. But they don't care about that. Now, he says, dude, I'm white. You can't just keep lunking us all to looters. Looters, doesn't matter the color. We are all in this together, right? At the end of the day, just love your neighbor. Okay, first off, and I've made videos about this. I don't believe, and I'm gonna say this once, I don't believe that all of anybody is the same. I don't believe that all of anybody is the same. When I refer to white people, I am referring to the absolute. I'm referring to the majority. I'm referring to the collective, and I have stated several times in other videos why I believe why there's evidence that the collective thinks a certain way. So I'm not going to, and that's the thing. I want black people to realize that's the thing. What happens when white people come in? They try to they don't want to be grouped up. They try to individualize everything, and when you individualize stuff, you make it harder to defeat a system. There is a system in place, and when you I never said all white people are racist, but when you individual that person's racist, that person's racist, you can't say all white people as a blanket term. Notice these people, notice white people who say you can't say all white people as a blanket term. They don't say that when someone brings up black on black crime, when someone brings up violence in Chicago. They don't say, well, it's not all black people in Chicago. It's not all black on. Why would you say black on black crime? Because you're lumping black people up together as a. They don't say that. They don't say that. Okay? They don't like being lumped up because they want to individualize everything. When a school shooter happens, well, he was a lone wolf. Lone wolves. What white people do, and I'm not going to say all white people, but the majority, what white people do when something bad happens, they push that off. It's like a one-off. It's like a rare event. Oh, that's just that one person. You can't lump us up. But they have no problem with other groups of people being lumped up together. They don't have a problem. So, and then he says, bricks were in Dallas. Here is the truth. I don't care if you're white or black. It's all a narrative, pre-planned. There are both white and black people paid to do more than protest. Okay. Oh, yeah, George Soros paid for this. I know what you are not racist. I know that you are not racist. Know what I mean? Okay, yeah, cool. Anyway, what needs now? The energy that needs to happen is the energy of correcting injustice. Energy of correcting injustice, right? What doesn't need to happen is black people going out to protest, dancing, singing, performing, so they can get attention. I want you to look at this, because we are in a race war. We are in a war, and white supremacy is trying to ethnically control and cleanse us. We are going to go back to Jim Crow if we don't fix the problem now. It's not going to be, things are getting better, slowly but slowly. Things are going to get a lot worse very fast, very, very fast, if we do not fix this right now. And what we don't need is we don't need a whole bunch of, I want attention, I just want to love, I just want to talk to you. I've seen last year way too many people yelling at the police, you don't understand our pain, you don't know what it's like to be black, all that yelling, all that explaining, because what you think is, I need black people to understand this. They do not see you, the dominant society does not see you as human like they see themselves as human. They are human, you are not human. They still view you as 3/5 of a human being. That is why when you are killed, nothing bad, anything that happens to you that is negative, they don't really care that, they don't make that much noise. White society, the dominant society, a large group of white people have not made any noise about any black issues except for like last year. And even before that, they were telling us a whole bunch of white people talking about black people need to stop overreacting. These same black white allies that you think we have were telling you a couple years ago that you're overreacting when Eric Gardner was strangled to death. When what's his name? Tamir Rice was shot. When Trayvon Martin was killed. They were telling you you are overreacting. The protests are too much. Now, because they want to do it, now it's not overreacting. But I digress. Let me calm down a little bit. Take a breath. Here's the thing. We need to be focused on the issue. We need to be focused on fixing the problem. So when you're out there protesting, know what you're protesting for. You're not protesting to get attention. You're not protesting to dance. You're not out there to dance. You're not out there to try to explain your humanity and try to win over the hearts of white people. You're not going to do that. You're not going to succeed. You're going to look pathetic and you're going to look weak. I've seen too many people, especially grown black men, which is what bothers me the most. You weak black men crying in front of police officers. Don't you understand? Hands up. Don't shoot. I can't breathe. All of that. I am not a threat to you. All of that weak. First off, please stop saying all of that. All of that. I'm not a threat. I am not a threat. Okay? Leave me alone. Let me live. All of that stuff, please stop that. All of that weak talk, all of that begging, stop that, okay? Please stop that. Now let me show you something else that we need to stop. I'm just going to pull it up right here. This needs to stop. I hate the fact that this was on here. I utterly hate this. And I've seen this at several protests and I immediately left because it's not going anywhere. Dancing is not going to solve the problem. Black people have been dancing for a long time. Dancing doesn't scare the police. It's not gonna win the police's heart over. This isn't like Happy Foot or something like that, where the power of your dance moves is going to affect the police. It's gonna make, oh wow, he dances really good for a nigga. I mean, I'm probably not gonna kill him. That's not gonna do anything but make you look weak and pathetic. This video, and the white media is gonna love these videos. Before I show you the white media, I want you to know how they are referring to this video. I'm referring to it as utter pathetic and weakness. They're gonna praise this video because that dancing doesn't threaten people. White people don't care about you dancing. That's why they're out there with you. They're out there with you because they know black people have a Messiah complex, and they know with that Messiah complex, black people have a bad history and tendency to, when they allow white people in the room, to start following behind the direction of white people. Every time they allow white people in the protest, white people start running the show. And the second white people start running the show, it's not a protest anymore, it's a dance-off. Okay? Now it's not really about the police. Let's dance now. Let's do the electric slide. That's what it's about when you let other non-black people, other people who really don't care, other people who don't feel your pain, who don't give a damn, when you let them in, that's what happens. Now let me show you this. Oh, hold on. It's not on the screen. All right. I'm just
When George Floyd died, I felt like a piece of all of us died. We're literally running. If you listen to the song, she says we have to stand up, but sometimes we can't stand up because they're holding us down.
The Black Lives Matter protests have become a global movement, and protesters have also joined together in global dance movements, such as the electric slide. Professional dancers performed it during protests in New York, highlighting the work of black dancers. Within a week, it was dancers protesting around the world, becoming a symbol of peaceful protest. The dance has roots in Jamaica. Many have also taken the opportunity to perform more traditional dances, such as this young girl in Puerto Rico dancing the bamba, which has roots in black slavery. In New Zealand, Maori dancers perform their traditional dance, the haka. And in the US, others have their own take on traditional ballet. Others perform street dances such as hip-hop.
It's been a very positive effect on me and like a lot of my other fellow friends and everything, because we need it. It's a healing process and we can't be going through it alone.
A few days ago, I was shot at a church by the cops for simply using my voice. That woke up something in me that's waking up something people around the nation.
US President Donald Trump.
okay. Okay, let me take this off screen. I'm sorry, I'm eating. I'm hungry. I apologize. What y'all think of that? What do y'all think of that? Okay? As you guys are answering, as you're answering, let me let you know something. That was utterly weak and pathetic. That was sad. That was... Okay. Let me break this down, because some people might not get it. Might not get it. Malcolm X said, back before, about white liberals, and he was referring to white liberals, he said, he doesn't approve, he doesn't condone white liberals joining black movements. Because the second the white liberal joins the movement, the second we let the white liberal in the room, the white liberal starts to take control. And when the white liberal starts to take control, they change the direction of where the movement is going. Okay? So it's not now it's not, okay, we're fighting police first off, police brutality. Police are just the enforcement arm, they're race soldiers of white supremacy. The actual villain, the big bad villain, is white supremacy. That is the system that we're trying to disable. The police are the armed forces that guard, like knights, the system. Okay? So when you're protesting against the police, and you're doing it among white people go out there, and they all like, okay, now I'm not saying that all protests were peaceful or whatever, but dancing. White people and black people, we gotta get better with this. We have to get better with this. Okay? Because we talk about how much we want to be treated better, but we're dancing. Okay? My brother Dylan said we've been dancing since slavery and nothing has changed. Dancing is not going to change anything. White people are out there. White people come out there and they change and they tone down the anger of black people. They tone that down. When white people get out there, it's not about protesting anymore. Now it's about fun. Now the protest against someone being killed turns into a dance-off, turns into a cookout, turns into a party where people got their speakers out and people make room for somebody to dance and to perform. I am dancing for my pain. This is my pain. I'm doing a tribal dance for my pain. I'm going to show... Now, don't make fun of my dance, okay? I know you guys are going to. Don't do that. Dancing is not going to do anything. Especially as a black man, you look so weak when somebody kills somebody just because they look like you, and you go to the street and dance. Do you know how stupid that looks? That is utterly shameful. That is pathetic and shameful. Okay? Now, I'm not saying necessarily that I want you to do something illegal. I would never say that on a public platform. But I'm saying, dancing, you can be out there protesting, yelling, or whatever. Don't be out there talking about coalitions. I know this shirt says we rise together. This is about black people. This ain't about nobody else. Don't be out there talking about we need friends. Don't be out there talking about I want you to understand. Don't be out there talking about let's dance. Here's the thing. We don't even need to protest anymore. What is the purpose of a protest? The purpose of a protest is to raise awareness of the anger of an unjust system. Okay? We've protested all year last year. Now it's time to do something beyond protest. What is beyond protest? What do you have the capability to do beyond protest? You have the capability to pull your money out of their pocket and to put it in the pockets of other black people. And that is the most effective way of solving the problem. Now, I know when people talk about black-owned businesses, people tend to turn away, like, oh my God, here he goes with this. This is how you solve the problem. Because you can go out and protest, but you eventually, that don't bother. Listen. protests are much, much less effective than you probably think it is. It is much, much less effective. Okay? When you're out there protesting, the police know, okay, yeah, you taking some shoes, big deal. Nike has insurance, whatever. The amount of damage you're gonna do, and I'm not saying you shouldn't go out there and protest, but you're eventually gonna go home. It's not like you're gonna stay in the street for weeks. You're gonna go home. Okay, yeah, you can protest. You can cause inconvenience. But the thing is that when you protest and say you're mad about something, and then you give businesses that fund the police, that donate to the police money, then what are you showing? If somebody is a bully, and you're paying that bully, you're giving that bully your lunch money, but eventually you hit the bully back, or you're yelling at the bully, you're snapping off on the bully, but you're still giving him your money. You're still giving him your money. How is that effective? How is that effective? The effective method is to, and I understand it can be difficult, but the effective method is to take your money out of their pockets and put it in the pockets of black people, because economics will be the solution. That will be what changes pretty much everything. Once we get our socio-economic situation together, everything else is going to start falling in place. They say George Floyd, the police was called on George Floyd because of a counterfeit $20 bill. Now, people don't even know if George Floyd even knew if that was a fake 20. He might not have known that. The store clerk is trained to detect counterfeit money. When I used to work at Target. When I worked at Target, they taught me the signs to look for counterfeit money. So George Floyd, if he never knew that, he probably didn't see to look at that. But even if he did, right? Why would he need counterfeit? Why do black people need to be in situations where they even have to use counterfeit money? If black people get our and I'm not blaming George Floyd, but if black people get our socio-economic situation together, all of these, including police brutality, all of those problems are going to fix itself. We have most of our problems, and I'm going to make a totally different video about this. Most of our problems stem from the fact that we are so poor and we cannot do anything. We have no influence over anything. The police can abuse us and they will get away with it, unlike anybody else, because without money, without resources, we have no ability to punish anybody. And if you can't punish someone for abusing you, you can't really stop them unless they want to stop. And they don't want to stop, they will never want to stop. That's what black people need to understand. Black people out here dancing and singing and crying to them as if that will get them to want to stop. We need to get off of making them want to stop. It's not about what they want. We need to get to a point where we are so powerful as a people, they can't do it whether they want to or not. Ramon said money talks. Money does talk. Money talks volumes. Now here's something else I want to show you. Hold on, let me just pull this up. I showed you the umbrella man, showed you that. Now, what I want you to realize is that every person who is out there, every person who is protesting with you is not your friend. Even your fellow people of color are not your friends. Not your friends at all. Now, everybody's talking about people of color, because, and let me tell you why people talk about people of color. Because black is a dirty word, and to say black without something, black is like it puts a bad taste in your mouth to a lot of black people who have like subconscious insecurity. Black is a bad word, so when they say black without adding something to it, it leaves like a bad taste in their mouth. So that's why black and brown, they have to say and brown, black and LGBT, black and this, people of color, because they can't just say black. They can't just say black. That's the problem. I just say black. When I talk about black issues, you don't hear me saying people of color. You don't hear me saying minority, disenfranchised. You hear me saying black, okay? That's what the energy needs to be, black. Don't, oh, you doing this because I'm a colored, I'm black, dude. No, we ain't adding nobody else. This is what our fellow, and this is in Chicago, what our fellow people of color thought about us last year when the protest. Let me show you. Okay. Now this is an article. Not gonna read the whole thing because we're already in 45 minutes. White Latino gangs in Chicago attack black protesters to assist police. To assist the police. Now, Hispanics have an incredible anti-black history. Okay, immigrants and black people have a tendency to cape for immigrants, for Hispanic immigrants specifically, because of interracial sexual access. This isn't to say all, because here comes the all police. Not all, not all. This is to say the culture. Okay? How can you say the culture? How can you say the culture? The thing is, like I said before in the video, and I want you guys to notice this, whenever you're dealing with a racist person, they don't ever want it to be traced back to the culture or to the society. So what they do is they try to individualize everything. Now, when gang violence happens, when somebody dies in Chicago, oh my God, that's black people in Chicago. That's black Chicago. When a white person comes up shooting a bunch of stuff, oh, he's a lone wolf. Nobody knew he was gonna do it. Oh my God, it has no reflection on white people at all, though. That's how they do when it's white people. When it's black people, though, it's Chicago. The dads aren't in the home. There's a bunch of baby mamas out here. It's the drugs. It's the rap music. It's everything. The whole culture. Just black people are inherently violent. That's how they talk when it's black people, but not when it's white people. They try to individualize it. Now, Hispanics have a lot of anti-black racism in their culture. How you know this is you can ask any Afro-Latino how they treat Afro-Latino. Ask any Mexican, period, how they treat their black population in Mexico, in these Hispanic countries. The extreme amount of colorism, how they treat their they're not even the black population, the darker skinned population in those countries like shit. They treat them terribly, and they all know that. But when they come to America, they act like, oh, I want to, we're in this together. We're all oppressed in some way. No. Before they do that, and this isn't to say, oh, but before they do that, tell them, okay, why don't you address, because you don't ever hear anybody addressing how Afro-Latinos are treated, how the black population is treated in any of these Hispanic countries. But we're supposed to believe that you're on our side because you're in America, though? We're supposed to believe that. So don't just because they're not white does not mean they have the same problems as you. Just because they're not white does not mean they see you as an actual human being. Does not mean they're not racist to you. Does not mean anything. Okay? I'm going to show you another thing, because we've been talking about anti-Asian hate. Anti-Asian hate. I made a couple videos about that, and you guys should check that out. Now, anti-Asian hate. Let me show you. Deontay Wright, right? That is not him. Deontay Wright. This young man, 20 years old, shot by a police officer. And the police officer said she thought the Glock in her hand was a taser, okay? And she shot him, she killed him. Now he's dead, he had a memorial. People came and vandalized his memorial. They vandalized his memorial, and let me show you what those people look like. Right here. This is what these people look like. These are Asians who vandalized a black man, or not, he's a black teenager. He was, what, 20? They vandalized his memorial. I'll take you off the screen, brother. So, this anti-Asian, now everybody's talking about Asian this, anti-Asian. And I'm only bringing this up to show you we don't have any friends out here. We don't have any friends. And when I say we don't have any friends, and I say this every time because there are new people who watch me, there are new people who subscribe and might not have seen my other videos and might not know my take and my perspective on certain things. So I have to kind of constantly repeat myself, which is okay. I don't mind doing it to an extent. I don't mind because there's new people. So I have to let them know my views. I do that when I have to say something important. But we don't have any friends. We don't have any groups of people. There might be individuals from certain groups, but we don't have any groups. We don't have any friends. Okay? We don't. We're in this by ourselves. Black people are in this by ourselves. You go to Asia, and in my video, I showed you where they have museums comparing black people to monkeys. Literally, black people right here, a monkey right here. In multiple pictures, so you can't say, oh, that might be misinterpreted. They view black people as literal monkeys. They have restaurants with the word nigger on them. First off, the racism in America has to be low-key to an extent where you can't be allowed in they don't want you in there because you're black, but they can't say that, so they have to say something else. But in China, they literally have stores and clubs and stuff like, hey, no niggers in here. We don't allow black people in here. Okay? They have TV shows, game shows where they have black people in, where they have Asians in blackface. They have Asians, and let me see actually if I can show you because I wasn't even planning on showing people this. Let me show you, because you're saying, wow, yeah, okay, let me show you. Oh, hold on. Let me show you. Let me zoom in. Here we go. This is a museum. Now, these are just a couple pictures. This is a museum in China where they have black people. Now, this is a lion right here. They have a black man right next to an animal, and then another black man off to the side right next to a monkey. And then, hold on, let me show you if I can move the camera over right here. This is a black child next to a... okay, hold on. That is not what I... Okay. I made a mistake right there. Okay, I made a mistake. Okay. That's that. Now, does that mean that all Asians are racist? No. I would never say all of anybody is racist. I would never say that. But this is to say we don't really have any friends. We don't have any friends out here. Whether they're Hispanic, whether they're Asian, they're white. There might be individuals who do that. But black people have a tendency to have a subconscious insecurity where we feel like we need a non-black person. We feel like we need a non-black person in order for us to succeed. Because inside of our hearts, we feel insecure. So we feel like we need another group with us. We don't need them at all. Let me listen. He says, yeah, that it is. Yeah. No friends at all. Not in a group. If they're friends, they're against their own culture because their culture is racist. Now someone says, nah, it is special interest money that keeps racism alive. Racism is kept alive through white supremacy, and white supremacy is a religion. Okay? That is it. The goal of white supremacy is white superiority. It is not about money. A lot of people say it's money because then that changes the conversation to it's not about white superiority. It's really about rich people. It is not about rich people, okay? It's not about that. It is about white superiority. Racism is good for the Democrats. Yeah, that's true. And the Republicans. in China, they always blame in China, right? Now here's another point. They say it's racist to refer to Asians as the COVID-19 virus. Is racist to refer to them as that. You can't say the China virus, the Kung Fu virus, whatever. But when it was Ebola that came from Africa, nobody had a problem saying it's Ebola. Nobody had a problem saying it's that. Nobody had a problem blaming Africa for it. Even China, now COVID, because there's like a different, I guess, strain of COVID that came from Africa. Now, here's my theory. There's a lot of Asians going to Africa, and there's a new strand in Africa. You make of that what you want to. But there's a new strand in Africa, and they're blaming Africans. They were blaming Africans in China. Now, I'm not going to show you the video. You can look it up yourself. But they were beating Africans, they're African citizens, in the street because of the COVID virus. And now, I don't really like to show physical violence. I don't really like to show that. So if you want to see that, maybe I'll link that. But I'm not going to show that on the live. But they were beating them with sticks, evicting them. They were banning them from restaurants with just open signs. Oh, black people can't come in here because of the Chinese virus. Because of the COVID-19. But when in America, if you said anything about Asians being connected to the COVID-19, then that would make you racist. That would make you racist if you said that. So this is to let you guys know it's okay. But we don't have friends. We don't have a group of people who understand us. We don't have any group of people. There is no group of non-black people who have not and do not practice anti-black racism. There is none. Everywhere you go, there's anti-black racism embedded in the culture of all these non-black groups. Everywhere you go. Let me show you something else. Another thing we need to stop doing. Is we need to stop supporting false leaders. These false leaders out here. We have to stop that. All the support for false leaders. Now, I already told you my opinion on Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter is a movement that was given to us and that is controlled by the dominant society. Not necessarily the people who agree that Black Lives Matter, but like the figureheads, the people who you see with verified profiles on Instagram and Twitter, those people who run stuff and who get on to be on the talk shows and on the radio and the podcast and all that, they're not out because they care about black people. They lied. They haven't done a single thing for black people. All the money Black Lives Matter has gotten last year, millions of dollars. I think that might have been, let's say millions, because it might be billions, but let's say millions, right? That's not gone to a single black school. That's not gone to better black people's living conditions, to give aid to any black people. That's not gone. You don't know. But they've gotten money, though. You don't need money for protesting. Protesting is just people out in the streets. Most of the people out in the streets are doing that by themselves. They're not getting paid to do that at all. They're not getting paid. In comparison, the Black Panther Party with Fred Hampton in Chicago, right? We rep Chicago. He was feeding children. He started the Black Panther Party started the free breakfast program. Okay? They weren't getting funded. They weren't getting paid. George Soros funds Black Lives Matter. He does. Follow the money, people. Follow the money. Fred Hampton wasn't getting paid. The Black Panthers weren't getting paid. And they were using their resources to feed children. What is Black Lives Matter doing, who has millions more resources than a Black Panther Party does, millions more resources and a much better capability, in a much better position? What are they doing with the millions of dollars that they've been getting? Nobody knows. They haven't started a program This is a diversity program, and especially just for black people. Because even Black Lives Matter don't just say this is just for black people. Black Lives Matter is including everybody under the sun. And black people haven't benefited from it. I want to show you something. Okay? I want to show you something. We all know about Breonna Taylor, right? And can you imagine how much money they got off of that? This is Breonna Taylor's mother. This is her mother right here. Play the video. Ignore that. Ignore the ads. Ignore the ads.
Because we're not. It's 1 year later, and we're still asking for the system to do the right thing. I've never seen something so black and white be so hard. Nobody willing to stand up and do what's right, or be the first person to do the right thing. The disregard for black lives and this is insane.
Okay. Now, that's not the full video. That's not the full video. But as you can see, her mother is very unsatisfied. Tamir Rice's mother also snapped off on Tamika Mallory about her using Tamika Mallory using Tamir Rice as an example. So what they'll do is you'll have a whole bunch of people, and notice how they get a lot of screen time. Notice how they get the highlight pointed at them, the cameras pointed at them, and they get the articles made. She is such a strong black woman. All these strong black people who have done nothing for black people, they just get out there and talk a good game. Police, we're really mad at you. And then they have all the new, oh yeah, look at them. But they don't do anything. They haven't done anything. Now, let me make something very clear. When I say Black Lives Matter, I am talking about it's like a group. I'm talking about that group, and mainly I'm talking about the people who run the group. The people who are supposed to be in charge, the figureheads of Black Lives Matter. I'm not talking about anybody with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on, or someone with a Black Lives Matter mask on. I'm not talking about them at all. I'm talking about the people who are supposedly running the group. That's kind of like an organization, but it's kind of not it's kind of weird. Because it's an organization kind of, and it's not an organization kind of too. But for the sake of making things simple, we're just going to call them the organization. I have a problem with that because the direction of the organization, I've made a video about this, is not going to help black people. Now, when a racist person says, I have a problem with Black Lives Matter, what they mean is they have a problem with black people. They have a problem with black people, and and Black Lives Matter is supposed to mean black people. So when they say, oh, I have a problem with Black Lives Matter, that means black people. That means the people out in the street. That means the protesters, okay? That's what that means. So, what do we do next? We can't trust anybody, any friends. We can't dance. We can't sing. We can't cry. We can't trust these activists and these leaders. We can't trust it. So what does a black person who wants the betterment for other black people, what do we do? Here's what you do. You attack them with the money. You affect them with the money. You take your money out of big businesses, okay, and start putting that into black businesses. Now, that might not be easy, depending on where you are and what your situation is, okay? Most businesses that's going to be around you are not going to be ran by black people. Most of them are not going to be. But what you can start doing is start saying, okay, at least once a week, I'm going to go out of my way to shop with somebody black. Now, when I tell people about black-owned businesses, that is, I'm not saying give money to anybody who is black. Somebody says, do I know about Brandon Tatum? I've heard. Yes, I do know about him. Have to do more research about him. I found out about him kind of recently. I do know he's one of those defend the cop Republican black people. I kind of found out about him kind of recently. I don't really know him that well, but I do know who you're talking about. When, let me see what I was saying. Okay. Go out of your, now, when it comes to black-owned businesses, there's a lot of, sadly, and I've fell for this, I've been a victim of this, there's a lot of black people who are completely inefficient when it comes to doing business, legitimate business at all. There are black people who will rip you off. And I hate those types of businesses and people who do that is because they put a stigma on legitimate black business. Because black businesses already have a stigma that no other group of people have, no matter how terrible their business is. No matter how terrible their business is, nobody else has the stigma of a black business. And the people who do amateur black business, they make the stigma that much worse. So go to a legitimate business, black business, that does good work, legitimate work, sells good products, or does a good service, and support them, okay? You can support somebody starting a business. Not starting a little side hustle, amateur, this is kind of like shady, I don't really know, right? Support somebody who's doing a legitimate business. Even if it's once a week. Even if you have to go to a black-owned business and buy yourself a bottle of water or something. Just, well, please do more than just buy a bottle of water. But, like, if you got to go black-owned businesses and buy yourself a meal or something like that. Or if you need, I don't know, your car repaired or something, you can go to a black-owned auto shop or whatever. You can go to a black-owned clothing, buy your clothes from black people. You can do certain things, go online, find out now. Now people like, oh well, it's just so inconvenient. It's inconvenient. Being black is inconvenient, dude. Being black is inconvenient. You can go online and find a list of local black-owned businesses in your neighborhood. For me personally, I would support if I was giving you the advice. I would support the local black-owned businesses first, primarily, and then maybe go for like the kind of bigger stuff because you will want you want your money to bounce in your community. You want your money to stay in your community. You might be shopping black-owned, but if you're in Chicago and I'm buying something from a black-owned business in Los Angeles, the money is still going to a black person, which is good, but that's going to Los Angeles. I should prioritize shopping black in Chicago because I want that money to bounce in Chicago. So that's what I would recommend. Now he says, I don't like false flags. You don't know who to trust though. You don't know who to trust. And okay, here's the thing with the shirts. They're coming up. I have to get some things before I start selling them and have the website up. It is coming soon. There has to be some things. It's like some legal stuff. I have to get the stuff copyrighted and stuff like that, so nobody's selling my products. So it's a process with that. That's really what we're waiting on, the paperwork and everything to come back, because I don't want to just start selling it and then somebody else starts selling my product. So you know what I'm saying? I got to get everything legalized. But when it's up, I will definitely let you guys know. But that's the thing. If you need to shop at a black-owned business, just go to like a black-owned. There's a black-owned place that sells like really good sweet tea smoothies and stuff. If you go there, buy yourself a smoothie once a week, just once a week. Buy yourself a smoothie, okay? Then do it twice a week, three times a week. Maybe mix it up. Maybe buy somebody else a smoothie. What you can do, another thing you can do, if you don't have any money, let's say, man, I'm broke. It's hand over fist out here. I mean, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I don't really have any spare money to like go out of my way. Okay, that's okay. You can give them free advertisement. That takes nothing from you at all. It takes nothing from you to take your phone and for you to take a picture of like a black-owned business and then to put that on your social media. Be like, hey, shop here, man. They make really good tea. They make really good cake. They make, or they really do a really good service. They clean your house good, or they detail your car really nice. That takes nothing for you at all. Free advertisement is something anybody can do. Black people did that a lot with Popeye's Chicken. I think not last year, the year before, 2019. Talking about the Popeye's Chicken Sandwich. That's free advertisement. They got millions of dollars of free advertisement. Word of mouth is the best advertisement. It is the best advertisement. So if you can't, which you should try to, okay, normally I would go to Chick-fil-A to get a sandwich, but now I'm going to go to a black-owned chicken place to get a sandwich or to get some lunch or something like that. I would buy my t-shirts or something, a hat from this website. I'm going to go to a black-owned website to get a hat. If you don't have any money, or maybe if you do, you can do them both. I do this all the time. Take a picture of somebody's black business or anything like that, and say, hey, just support black business. Put the link in the thing. Show them where the address is. Now, when it comes to, that part, you really don't have an excuse not to do that. Because black people have a tendency to share a whole bunch of nonsense on their social media. There's several times I open up my social media and see a whole bunch of people sharing something that, oh, can you believe what Cardi B just said? Can you believe this? They're sharing a whole bunch of ghetto stuff that's not going to help the black community. But then they're talking about, oh my God, where is the solution? What do we do next? What do we do next? It doesn't take you any more effort to share a black-owned business, to put that on your story or to advertise that, than it would to do that for Popeye's Chicken. It doesn't take you any more effort at all. It doesn't take you any more effort to share a picture of a celebrity than it would to share a picture of a black-owned business. It does not at all. This is what black people need. Because black people talk a good game. Man, we need this. We need to support our black-owned businesses. But not me, though. You do. We need to stop that. I'm not saying spend all of your money in black-owned businesses. I'm not saying to support every black-owned business. But supporting black-owned businesses, especially locally, will better the economy, and that will decrease some of the problems. So there won't be a next George Floyd. So there won't be another Breonna Taylor. So there won't be another dead black person. That's how we get it. That's why we're the weakest, because we're the poorest, and that's how we stop being the weakest. We work as a team and we build as a team. That's what the solution is. That is what that is. I am going to look at Officer Brandon Tatum. I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna kind of maybe watch some of his videos or something. I've seen like a couple little clips on Instagram of him talking, so I can already get a vibe from, okay, this is, and those are the people. I don't know him. I do know what I do know, though, is those two, like, bodybuilder brothers. I don't know their names. They're, like, they're black bodybuilder brothers who wasn't going anywhere with their bodybuilding channel, so they switched to being black Republicans. When people say black Republicans, they really mean white ass kissers. So they're professional white ass kissers, and that's how they got their fame. And that's, I assume, Officer Brandon Tatum, because I know he defends the police in every single situation. He doesn't question the police. It's always the other person's fault, though. When he does that, he's a white ass kisser. So I assume they're all the same. And they all do the same, and white people love them, okay? Because they are the ones you can deny racism with. Watch out for those people too. We saying watch out for the fake people, watch out for those people who are like, well, yeah, let's respect it. We need the police. We need the police. No, we don't need the police. The police do not benefit the black community whatsoever at all. Okay? Because they don't have to. The police do not have to stop a crime legally. They don't. They do not have to stop a crime. Somebody could be killing you. They are not legally obligated to stop them. They are not. What black people need is for black people's economy to get better. Because when the economy gets better, the crime goes down. And when the crime goes down, the police aren't even necessary. You don't see dozens of police cars hanging out on blocks in the white neighborhoods. You don't see them doing that to any other neighborhoods. Just black neighborhoods where you see police cameras on every single street, where you see police cruisers hiding in the cut on every single turn. That's because of our social economic position. We got to fix that. We have to fix that. And we fix that through keeping the money in our community. Because when you shop at Walmart, the Walmart Corporation takes the money out the community. And I'm not, and sometimes, hey, you might have to. You might have to. They are legally obligated. Duh. Okay, I want you to do some research on that. They are not legally obligated to do that. There has been several times when the police have not helped. They are not legally obligated to stop a crime. They are not. That's not what the police, they say their job is to protect and serve. That's not what the Supreme Court says their job is to do. Their job is to uphold the law. Okay? I want you guys to research what the police is really cops are hanging out getting white people. I don't know what that means. Research what the cops' real job is, because it's not to protect your black ass. It's not to protect you. But you won't need them. You won't need any police at all. If we get our economics together, we can police ourselves. We do it better than they do. We do it better than they do. We just need to get ourselves in a position. And we got to do it fast. Otherwise, it will be too late. It will be too late. But the people who are watching this, the people who watch me, the people who watch a whole bunch of other people, the people who are on code, we can do this. It's bad. We're in a bad position. It's the law. Okay, I want you to look up the law. Look that up. And Google if the police are legally obligated to stop a violent crime. Okay, because you can't sue them for not saving you. You cannot sue the police. If they were legally obligated, you could sue them for not saving you. But you can't, so they're not. Okay? Then so y'all know this was the same white person who was earlier in the conversation saying that all white people are racist. Okay, just letting y'all know that. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned because I got more videos coming up. But all of these things, black businesses is the solution after the protest. That is the next step. What is the next step after protest? Black businesses. The economy is the next step. That is the next step, people. Stay tuned, especially with the shirts, the merchandise. That's coming soon. I will give you guys further updates. If you follow me on my social media, Dylan, brother, I know you do, but I will give announcements to that too. Have I been Iowa? No, I haven't. If you guys have any questions for me, you can add me on my social media. Links in the description below. J_Elite Twin 10 is both my Instagram and Twitter. So you guys can follow me on that. And if you have any questions, you can ask me on that too. But until then, you guys have a good night. Be safe. Be safe, family. Please be safe. Keep your eyes open and support black businesses.